Welcome, everybody. This is Richard Kuhns, along with my co-host Robin and our greeting coach Mary. Memorial Day recording about stress management. We have done this segment about managing stress or dealing with stress from the very beginning. We've had people talk about the different things that we can do to manage stress. We've done things to deep breathing, tapping, and so forth. Today is a little off beaten path, but it seems to be a path that is really very beaten in the news media. And going through Facebook, you see people praying for the end of these massacres. Praying, please God, get us over these massacres. Well, I don't personally think there's anybody going to make it happen. I think it's something that we got to make happen. But how in the hell do you do it? All right? Well, the big thing that many politicians and most of the country, back in the Obama era, 90% of the people polled were for legislature of who can have guns and tougher legislation. And nothing had ever happened, okay? Even today. But that's a good thing to happen. We need better legislation about who is capable of owning a gun. I mean, we have 18-year-olds who aren't even allowed to purchase a beer at the corner store or any alcoholic beverage, walking around with AK-47s, military-style guns. So something is not right here. But even if this legislation and this gun control were enacted today, how long do you think it would take to get them out of circulation or get them away from kids or people who have no business having them in their hands? Well, you see, when it comes to a massacre, it's important to look at what are the components that go into a massacre. Now, the first thing everybody sees is the gun. And we think, well, let's take away the gun, let's get the legislation. Not that we shouldn't have it, we should, okay? We definitely need better legislation. But if you take away the gun, is that going to solve the problem? No, not a way. They turn to a knife, or how about a truck? I think 80 or 83 people were mauled down, run down, killed in France with a damn truck, all right? So taking away the gun, all right, even if you do that, you don't solve the problem. Now, how about the individual? We think, okay, some of them, are they schizophrenic? Are they mentally unstable? Well, how do you tell that? I mean, a person who is bigoted, which some of them are, or a person who has been bullied, which many are, or a person who is, what is the term they came up with, the one that, not by choice, virgin, are they mentally ill? No, they wouldn't pass the test to be called mentally ill. So that being mentally ill is not going to take care of many of the people that are getting these weapons, whether it be a gun or a knife or a truck or a car, okay? So we can't control those two. Now, the third are the people who get massacred. So you see, you got to look at all the components. If it weren't for them, there wouldn't be a massacre. If it weren't for the gunmen, or the perpetrator, it wouldn't be a massacre. All right. Well, we can't control the people either. You know, we can't say, don't go into this store because some idiot's going to show up with a gun. We're not capable of doing that. We can't do that. So the fourth is what? What is the fourth component? And that is how the event is reported. How the event is reported by the media. Now, what's this got to do with some nut? Well, number one, all these people, they communicate. They already know that. You look at their affiliations and the websites they go to, and okay, so we have this group now that is afraid that the whites are going to be a minority. Okay, that was a recent faction, and so. Or the people who are bullied, they network on the internet. Okay, they talk about each other. They admire each other. All right. So out of a general population of maybe, I don't know, 250, 300 million people, we might have a couple 100,000 of these people that, okay, are capable or might consider these heinous things. So you got to look into how these people think when you are reporting one of these things. Why do they do what they do when they might end up getting killed or in jail forever? Now, this goes into the power of suggestion. Now, what the hell do I have any business talking about the power of suggestion? Well, I was a hypnotist only for 20 years. There's a thing called waking hypnosis. In Middletown, New Jersey, where I live, just a few blocks from the high school, back in the 70s, they had a rash of suicides. Kids taking their lives. Terrible. Why would any kids, 14, 17, 18 years of old, kill themselves? And after each suicide, it was typical that you have the funeral and all their friends would come, or, kid doesn't know how many friends he has until he dies, but then he's not there to be conscious of all the people that came anyway. But they would always eulogize. Eulogies. Oh, this poor child, had he only known how many friends were supportive of him, had he only known what his life would have been about, had he only known, it goes on and on and on. And the suicides went on and on and on. Some wise person stopped the eulogies, and the suicides stopped. You get that? That's how the mind works. That's how these, what we call crazy kids, work. The news media says, why did this guy do it? All right, we have all the reasons now, but they keep getting invented. We have, okay, being bullied. Well, hell, I was bullied. We're all bullied. Look at our comedy, our comedians. They get paid to bully. Talk about a double standard. We have comedians stand up and bully other adults. So anybody's going to look at, well, if they can do it, I can do it. You got short hair, you got long hair, you're fat, you're ugly, whatever. That's a bully technique. That's a comedian. A double standard. Even in our, Chris Rock and what just went down. But comedians are paid to do that. So we shouldn't touch them, right? And yet, millions of kids watch this. I mean, if you're being roasted, you're participating. But if you're not participating and let people, that's bullying. You don't hide behind the comedy legality of it. So we got these kids that admire So we have the reason, being bullied. We talked about that. Not by choice virgin. Hey, I was one of those. Damn stuck-up girls. I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how, rather than look at what our problem is, we make it the stuck-up girls. They're the bitches. Rather than say, well, hell, I don't know how to talk to a girl. I don't know how to be friendly to a girl. I never had that education. It's easier to make it their problem. So we stick together in a club. And I'm sure you can find them on the internet. And yeah, when one of these not by choice virgins goes out and wipes out a whole bunch of people, hey, good for the bitches. Well, what's this got to do with the news media? Well, they're announcing it. They're putting the guy's picture on the, and they're regurgitating it over and over, where he lived, what he used, rather than calling him a sick kid who didn't know how to deal with life. A sick kid who didn't know how to deal with life. Do they ever say that? No. No. Or now we have, I don't even know what this last one was about in Texas, because I just simply, as soon as I see the news media, I know they're just going to regurgitate it. And, oh yeah, okay. But I do know the policeman didn't show up in time. He got an extra 30 or 40 minutes to do his thing because, hey, so let's blame it on the cops. No, let's look at the media. They played that up. So whatever his reason was, there are a bunch of them on. Now, there is another way of solving this problem, too. And it is simply make all of these acts, all these heinous acts, classified. Classified by the government. No details released at all. Nada. Not how many not how many died, not who did it, not what he looked like, not what he used. Nada. Nada. All classified. That's an alternative. You take away their fodder, and they're going to stop doing it because they're not being eulogized. You get it? That's what perpetrates these things. So I ask everybody, instead of praying what you can do something. Take my report and send it to Nora O'Donnell. I did. She won't look at it yet, but if she gets enough people looking at it, maybe she will. Asking the media to not do what they do is like asking a lion to give up meat for Lent. But they can still report, and they can report it honestly and responsibly. So they are reporting it irresponsible. They're using words that actually build these people up who commit these crimes in the minds of people who have like thinking and are likely to do the same thing over. I mean, just go back and look at D.B. Cooper. Anybody remember him? He was the first person to actually hijack an airline. And the way the news media handled it, copycat after copycat, until almost every week there were one or two hijackings. And there's another way that the massacres will end, and that is when it's no longer news. When it's so damn boring that the news media don't even handle it anymore. That's another way. But in the meantime, until that happens, send a copy of my report to everybody you know. Post it on Facebook. Send it to your congressman. Send it to Nora O'Donnell. Send it to the late night comedians. They do a good job. Okay, so anyway, that's my take on it. Anyone like to share? We had a couple of phone numbers that you want to open up.
In my particular situation, I've lost friends who took their own life. And this past week, there was a young man, very capable and well-liked, who took his own life. And, sometimes, again, it's like, picking up on the red flags from folks that, put on a happy face. our society has become so, divisive and, divided in so many ways, and people are just trying to survive in their own life that they are completely, unaware or don't have the, wherewithal to really, make a difference for other people, because I've, in the past when I've lost my friends, there were some red flags that I was cognizant of in their behavior, but because of my own, situation, maybe I didn't do enough to support them. And also so much of it, so much of the violence as of late too, and with these young people who do these horrible things, it starts in the home with many of them, broken families, or not having a father figure,
well, you're absolutely right, but in reality, that takes a lot of education, takes a lot of work, and is not really a practical way of ending this problem, because that's been happening ever since humans were humans in family situations. But we've never dealt with it this way before. We've never had people go crazy and nuts to take out people who had nothing to do with them. I mean, like we have these suicide massacres. And they're getting smarter. They're not even killing themselves. They like the idea of being caught and being put in jail and getting all this fan mail, because that itself tells you what's going on. The news media is making them so popular that when they get put in jail, they get fan mail from all the people who admire what they did. And
right, people, right.
Copycat.
And also video games, too, with a lot of young people, so much violence that's perpetrated.
Well, that's true, too. But again, you're not going to get that out of the system. What you're going to do is you're going to need to report it. You're going to need to stop making it something that somebody wants to do to get notoriety. They do like to get notoriety. Right.
The power of suggestion, like you say, the copycats, right? That's so on target.
Even if they kill themselves, they accomplish their goal. They got notoriety. They know that. They know the media. The media has written the script. They know what the script is. And once they stop seeing the script happen, they're not going to do it anymore, because there will be no notoriety. They won't be in jail, because nobody's going to know their name. Nobody should know their name, where they were, or what their reasoning was. Nobody. Okay.
Yeah, I see that. Thank you.
It's interesting because I have a publicist that I employ to help get the word out there with the different things that I do. And I ask him to, Garris Media, to push this report about ending the massacre. And do you have any idea what his response was? He didn't want to bite the hand that fed him, and that is the media. The media feeds, through he gets me and his other clients to be recognized by the media, and he didn't want to go against the grain, so to speak. So, the media is powerful.
In my way of thinking, the media is like a frequency, and we use, some of you all use the Rife machine for frequency. So it's an energy. They're very powerful, like you say, but it's an energy. And I wanted your take too on the organizations that are promoting now in, like in Oregon and Illinois, and I guess some other states. They're going to pass, legislation for psychedelic medicines. And I wanted to know what your thoughts, are on that, or if you are, aware of the bills that are out there for psychedelics being legalized.
Oh, well, this topic that we're talking about is really off topic for us, and I don't want to get into. We even have stayed away generally from COVID. I don't want to get into other things, So.
Okay, I understand. I respect that. No, I understand.
Okay. Anyone?
Yeah, because it's being pushed. There's a lot of organizations out there that are pushing that now. So
yeah, there are a lot of things. I mean, we could talk about climate change. I mean, we do get into things like Monsanto because Monsanto has glyphosate, and glyphosate gets in our food supply, and it's a natural antibiotic, and it destroys the gut flora. So we get into topics like that, but you know, we stay away from pot and all the other stuff and the psychedelics because, quite frankly, I'm that's not my expertise.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand, and I respect you and appreciate you very much. Thank you for giving me that feedback. Yeah.
How about the Happy Cell Phone?
That is wonderful. I'm so grateful and happy to have Robin be my co-host because she's also a professional musician, and we publish her YouTube channel every week. And if you haven't joined, please go there and sign up for her YouTube channel and support her efforts. So let's have the Happy Cell song.
Okay, so this is just a simple little ditty, and I did not make it up, but I learned it when I had COVID, and I would lie in bed and sing it to myself, and it just changes. It's like a paradigm shift of your consciousness. So it goes, all my cells are healthy and happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. All my cells are healthy and happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. My cells are healthy and my cells are happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. My cells are healthy and my cells are happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well.
Great acapella, great, fantastic. Yes.
Thank you.
Sing that song as you're driving down the street. Remember, you know, we have to take a poll maybe next time. How many of you have actually followed through and put a post-it on your mirror that said smile or take a deep breath? How many of you? And maybe next week we'll take a poll and see how many have done that, because we're talking about things that can make a difference. They're tiny little things, but they add up and they help you deal with the stress, because there's nobody you can really talk to about this. No.
Unless you have a Morgellons buddy.
Yeah, unless you have a Morgellons buddy, and I hope Leah is on the call today and she can talk about our buddy program that she's spearheading and getting going. So that concludes this portion of the program. I want to thank Robin, Chris for handling the technical aspects, Mary for handling the pre-program, and all of our coaches. Thank you very much. Love you all. Keep coming back.